Okay, there's the audience right there.
Hello, my name is Daniel Mata. I'm going to be your speaker today. We're talking about protecting the Second Amendment rights. These rights were ratified December 15th, 1791, along with the 10 First Amendment, or the 10 First Amendment rights, which make up our Bill of Rights. The Second Amendment was not made so that hunters can hunt, which people won't say nowadays. It was made to protect the people from any type of harm, whether it's from their government, someone trying to harm their family, property, or themselves. Nowadays, people want to say having guns is like the devil. But responsible people with guns make this world a safer place. Look at Chicago, for example. Over 500 homicides last year alone. And their gun rights before this year were nil to none. Now this year they won a small step into people owning their guns and being able to protect themselves. Will the murder rates probably go down? Yes, it might not happen the first year, but with more people that deserve their weapons having them, protecting their families and communities, just the knowledge of a gun being in a house, or possibly being in a house, makes criminals have a second thought. And now, since there has been some pretty significant homicides with firearms lately, everything in that the aspect of a homicide is illegal. Therefore, yes, that person shouldn't have a gun. Making all guns illegal and not giving people the right to have them is wrong. I mean, crack's illegal, but people can still get that on the street, and those aren't your good citizens. If guns are all illegal, your criminals can still get a hold of them. They're still going to be out there. And majority of the gun violence that's portrayed, over 97% in the U.S., is caused by people who own an illegal gun or possess a gun that they had illegal means of getting. Now, when we look at the past, a country that did away with all guns, they had dump trucks that they just dumped them, and steamrollers who roll over the guns. Australia, back in 1997, almost all crime rates went up 200% within that next year. Not only rates with guns, gun violence went up 200%. Assaults, robberies, homicides by knives, rapes, everything went up 200% or more. And this was a country trying to make themselves safer by not having guns. How would that affect the U.S. today? Do you want crime to go up to double, basically overnight, because you wouldn't have your opinion that, oh, people shouldn't have guns because they're dangerous. Guns don't kill people, people kill people. They just use the means of a gun. They could use a knife. There's tons of people driving around in cars. If you hit someone with a car intentionally, you're most likely going to kill them. So pretty much what I'm saying is, with the Second Amendment, which actually reads the right to a well-regulated militia, being necessary security of a free state, the right to the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The right to a militia is not to protect the people from the people. It is to protect the people from the government. When government gets too much power, they can start taking over things. Recently there was an executive order signed where during a time of peace or a time of war, the government can seize all assets within the U.S. and use it to their benefit, which for most of us who are just normal civilians, that could mean no water in your house, no food at the supermarket that you pick up. And who's going to fight this if the only people with guns are criminals and the government? No one. That's the meaning of having a well-regulated militia. That's the reason for it. And yes, back in the day, the government and militias had the same weaponry. Nowadays, they're trying to make assault rifles illegal, which they're called assault rifles because how they look. When the government has probes, bombs, everything that they can use against a normal person. Someone with an assault rifle is not as much of a threat as an unmanned probe that can drop bombs. So when you want to get rid of your rights, think about how safe is your community going to be? How long is your right to the freedom of speech going to last? And what protects that? What keeps the government at bay from completely taking over certain things? What can you do to keep your family safe? Thank you for your time. It's the end of my presentation.